What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we just recently saw the president really start talking about affordability. This is after we saw the elections in Virginia, New Jersey, and New York. And now the president is saying we need to make things more affordable for the American people. People have been asking for this for a very, very long time, and the president has ignored this. And even though he is talking about we need to make things more affordable, he is still saying that things are more affordable. He's saying that prices are way down. And the reality is that's just not true. We have information. We get the CPI every month. It's showing us right now that prices are 3% higher than they were just last year. And so he can say this all he wants, but that's not going to change things. But are the people paying attention? Do they really realize that prices have gone up? I would say they do, because anytime I watch videos or talk to people, I get the same answer. Yes, prices are more expensive. When you guys post in the comments, you let me know that prices are still more expensive. There's only been a few people that have said, no, prices are less expensive now than they were before at the grocery store. Everybody else is saying that they're more expensive. And I agree they're more expensive because I go and grocery shop as well. And when I'm out there, things are more expensive. And one of the best metrics that we have to really analyze this is polls, okay? Now, polls aren't always correct, but when we start looking at polling averages, we get a better idea, because you do have some pollsters that have polls that are outliers, and they're not even close to anything else that's out there. But a lot of the polls are saying the same thing. So we're going to take a look at that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so first thing I want to take a look at, and I always like to look at the information when it's coming to the generic ballot. So generic ballot is showing us, and this is the congressional generic ballot, basically saying who is favored to win, Democrats or Republicans, when we're talking about Congress. Okay, so when we're looking at this generic ballot right now, and this is Real Clear Politics that I'm using, they're showing an average of 4.8, okay, plus 4.8 for the Democrats. Now, this was down to like 1.6. That was just 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we've seen this increase a lot in the last several weeks. And so this is the average. So Republicans right now are at 41.8. Democrats right now are 46.6. And then when we start looking at some of the individual polls, it'll give us an idea of how they're seeing this. Marquette, this was conducted between 11/5 and 11/12. You had 903 registered voters, Democrats 49, Republicans 44. The spread there is +5. Looking at this Marist poll here, this was conducted between 11/10 and 11/13. 1,291 registered voters, Democrats at 55, Republicans at 41. The spread there is Democrats +14. Economist YouGov, this is an A-rated pollster. This was between 11/15 and 11/17. 1,382 registered voters, Democrats 43, Republicans 40. The spread there is +3. We'll do 2 more here. Quantus Insight, conducted between 11/11 and 11/12, 1,000 registered voters, Democrats at 44, Republicans at 39. The spread there is +5. And then we'll take a look at the Reuters Ipsos. This was conducted between 11/7 and 11/12, 938 registered voters, and Democrats at 41, Republicans at 40, Democrats +1. And so you see here when we're looking at the generic ballot, most people that were polled think that Democrats are going to do better than Republicans overall. Okay, let's look at some of the other areas, and some of these areas are really going to shock you. We look at the next area here. This is the economy. So the economy, and we'll briefly go over this, but looking at the overall average, the economy is one of those things where the economy could be doing really well, but people don't feel it, okay? Or the reverse. The economy can be doing really bad and people don't feel it. So the inflation is a better metric for us to use, but I do want to take a look at the economy because this is showing us some signs here. So Real Clear Politics has the average at -16.4. So you have 56.6 people disapprove of the president, and then 40%, so 40.2% approve of what's going on. Economist YouGov, once again, A-rated pollster, 11/15, 11/17, 1,382 registered voters, and approve is 42, disapprove is 55. The spread there is -13. We'll do 2 more. Reuters Ipsos. This was conducted between 11/14, 11/17, 1,017 adults, And we have approval here at 34 for the president and disapproval at 58. The spread there is minus 24. Now, this is adults, okay? So what we do need to understand, we're looking at adults. They might not even be registered to vote. They might not have ever voted in their life, but they participated in this poll. At least when you have a registered voter, it's someone who is registered to vote. That doesn't mean that they're voting, but they're registered to vote. What we really like to see is likely voters, but we don't have any likely voters in this category. But if you have likely voters, these are people who voted in previous elections, recent elections. Okay, so let's go ahead and move down. We'll do one more. Morning console. This is connected between 11:14 and 11:16. We have 2,201 registered voters. Approval at 43. Disapproval at 50. The spread there is minus 7. Okay, so now let's look at inflation. This is the worst category for the president right now, and it's been this way for several months now, and it continues to get worse. Okay, so now we're in, look at this. Look at the spread here. The spread right now is minus 25.5. Disapproval is at 61.1. Approval is at 35.6. This is a huge problem for the president, and it's also a huge problem for Republicans that are going to be running in the 2026 midterms, because they're going to have to defend this record. And if they can't defend it, they run a real possibility of losing. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the individual pollsters here. Harvard-Harris, this was conducted between 11:4 and 11:6. 2,000 registered voters. Approvals at 39, disapprovals at 61. The spread there is minus 22. Looking at Economist YouGov, conducted between 10:31 and 11:3, 1,475 registered voters. Approval is at 36. Disapproval is at 61. The spread there is minus 25. We have CBS News, conducted between 10:29 and 10:31, 2,124 adults. Approval at 34. Disapproval at 66. The spread there is minus 32. Now, once again, this is adults, so even though this spread is minus 32, it could be an outlier. Okay, looking at big data poll, this will be the last one we do, 1026 to 1028, 2,984 registered voters. Approval is at 38. Disapproval is at 58. The spread there is minus 20. Okay, now I want to take a look at a few other issues, and one will be immigration. I just want to look at the polling averages on this. We're not going to look at all the individual polls, but just looking at the polling average on immigration, this is one of President Trump's strong points. But right now, it's showing disapproval. Disapproval minus 3.3. And so even when we're looking at a category where President Trump should be doing well, he is underwater. And crime is another area where President Trump generally does really well. However, looking at the average here, we're now looking at a tie here. And so where the president previously was really strong, now, he's underwater in one, immigration, and then he's tied when it comes to crime. And so this is a sign of something that we could see in the very future. We could see a blue wave. We could see Democrats being able to win a lot of seats, mainly in the House, as a result of this information. Because, as I stated, Republicans need to run on this record. And if the record isn't good, that is going to mean they're going to lose. And that's just the bottom line. And we're getting this right now. And that's why the president is talking about affordability. He's talking about affordability because he knows this is a huge problem. Even though he's denying that prices are going up, he's still talking about affordability, and he still is trying to bring those prices down. Now, how hard will he try to bring prices down? We don't know. The president can't run for president again, legally run for president again. So we're going to be laser focused on some of these races in the House and in the Senate, because we could see some major flips, some major changes as a result of our economy, because this does not look good. This is bad. This is the way that people were feeling back in 2022 when we saw inflation at high numbers, the highest in 40 years. We're starting to see people very, very upset with the current administration and how they're handling things. And remember the promises that the president made. The president made a lot of promises when it came to inflation. When it comes to going to the grocery store, prices are going to be a lot less. It's going to happen fast. It hasn't happened. And it probably won't happen before the 2026 midterm election. And even after that, it might even get worse, because then there's no real push to get prices down. Because at that point, the president will be just looking at, okay, I have another 2 years, and then I'll be gone. And he might not care about helping some of these Republicans down ballot. So I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed and stay engaged. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.